Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Judas Priest album Jugulator. This is hold on, let me fix this for a second. This is an extremely underrated album. Um, Jugulator was released back in 1997, the year I was born. um, this is a different lineup than most what was it? Oh, yeah. This is a different lineup on this album than most Judas Priest albums. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who aren't familiar with their late 90s, mid to late 90s stuff, um, Rob Halford left the band as in officially at the time. Like, he did his own thing. He was gonna do his own thing. A side project, whatever it was, he left the band. In comes Tim Ripper Owens. I don't know why I said that over there. Originally in a Judas Priest cover band. I think they auditioned him because they saw him in a cover band. I think it was called British Steel. And within like the first lines of him singing the Judas Priest classic, "The Ripper," he got the job, and that's how he became the vocalist in Judas Priest for I think 6 years. Yeah, 1996 to 2002, I believe. And within that time span, during the Tim Ripper Owens era, there were 4 albums, 2 studio albums and 2 live albums, and this was the first studio album. The lineup, like I said, Tim Ripper on vocals, and of course, Scott Travis on drums, um, Ian Hill on bass. I always forget Ian Hill's name for some reason, and of course, Glenn Tipton and KK Downing on guitar. Um, this is by far their heaviest and darkest album. I mean, listen to like songs like I'll get to them in a minute, but listen to some of these songs. They're just really, really, really different than any other song on any other Judas Priest album. Well, maybe One on One from Demolition. That's kind of similar to songs on this album. But anyway, enough um um enough of craziness of me stumbling with my words again. Let's get into the songs. First off, it starts with the title track, Jugulator. It starts off with this intro sort of noise. Like, it sounds like a train coming into the station, but like the sound of the train coming into the station is like very distorted. It's really cool. And then the guitars come in like very, very like low frequency guitars. And then it kicks in with the other guitar, and it just like it just goes from there. And I love how when Tim Ripper starts doing the vocals for this particular song in the beginning, they start out very distorted, and then right after he does his famous Banty shriek, his vocals are not distorted anymore. They're very crisp and clear. Um, the song's very catchy. I love it. It's interesting because even though they did a tour for this album, the Jugulator tour, they didn't play Jugulator for some bizarre reason. Like 98 Live Meltdown was recorded during the Jugulator tour, and they didn't play Jugulator for. Again, they didn't play most of the Jugulator songs, actually. I think they only played 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they played Bloodstained, Burn in Hell, Bullet Train, Death Row, and Abductors. Yeah, they only played 4. Um, And they didn't play Cathedral Spires either. Anyway, but yeah, it's just weird that during the Jugulator tour they didn't play Jugulator. But anyway, yeah, great song, very dark, very brutal, very menacing. But yeah, great song. Next up is Bloodstain. This is a song that, again, I don't think that, maybe they played it live during when they recorded the second live album, Live in London, but I'm not entirely sure because it's the only Tim Ripper Owens era release that I don't own yet. So I wouldn't know if they played Bloodstained on that, but I'm pretty sure I heard that they did. Anyway, Bloodstained is another it starts off very slow, but it gets more fast-paced as it goes on. The song is very interesting subject matter. It's basically just about political greed and corruption. Yeah, very, very relevant. I mean, it's kind of a song that never gets non-relevant as time goes on. Love it. It kind of reminds me in that sort of like way, like "Be Quick or Be Dead" by Iron Maiden. How that song is also about political greed and corruption, and how people in high status of power think they could get away with anything, but they can't. Anyway, yeah, great song, Bloodstain, awesome. Next up is Dead Meat. This song is another catchy song. It's not as dark as Jugulator or Bloodstained, but it's still very good. It starts off with a weird intro, like probably the most weirdest intro on this album. It starts off with like a dog growling for a good few, like 30 seconds or so, and then it gets into the main song, and yeah, I don't really have much to say about the song just because I know you have to listen to the song for yourself to really sort of understand that I can't really describe it just because it's hard to describe. But it's a good song. Let's see. Death Row. One of the I think pretty the only song that's really close to being a commercial song. Like it's only very close to be it's radio friendly, but it's not that um um friendly sounding to where it'd be radio friendly, but it's probably the closest one on the album to being like that. It's very catchy. It's basically about a guy getting the electric chair, kind of like Ride the Lightning by Metallica, but a lot more catchy and a lot just a better song overall. Yeah, Metallica sucks. Anyway, very catchy. Not much to say on the song, considering there's not a lot to it. But other than it's catchy, I mean, there's a lot to it, but there's not a lot to say about it. Decapitate is one of the only two songs on this album that I don't like. It's cheesy, but in a bad way. Like they're trying to be like very dark and brooding and stuff, like the majority of songs on this album, but it doesn't work because the lyrics are cheesy. There's this really stupid part where it's like, oh, you lost your head, sir. Oh, you will though. Oh, you haven't, but you will though. Tomorrow anyway. It's just really cheesy and cringy, and just like, don't do that. It ruins the song. I guess if they didn't have certain sections like that in there, the song would be okay. But it's just, yeah, probably the worst song off the album by far. But then the album redeems itself with the one of I think two singles, "Burn in Hell." This song is amazing. I think. Oh yeah, it did. It did have a music video to it. Because I remember seeing it on YouTube somewhere. But it did have a music video to it. It's probably one of the more well-known songs off this album. And then, of course, everyone knows the part where Ripper goes, "You're going to burn in hell!" And yeah, it's one of my favorite Ripper Owens moments when he just shrieks that line. Very catchy. Also, it starts off very slow, but then gets super fast paced. Kind of like a majority of songs on this album. I love how he's like, what was it? Oh yeah, stuck like a hog, scream like a banshee. You're going to love me. And but yeah, I love that. I don't know. I just love that particular point in that song for some reason. He kind of sounds like at that point, like when he has the raspy vocals like that, he kind of sounds like Rob Halford in that one section of the song Nightcrawler, or like the monologue part where it kind of sounds like, I don't know, kind of sounds like the creepy monologue part where it's like hiding in the cellar, fear caught in their eyes. You know, that kind of part of that section of that song. That section kind of sounds like this section of this song. Awesome. Next up, Brain Dead. The only other song besides Decapitate that I don't like on this album. It's not cringy like the other one, like Decapitate, but it is just boring. I mean, the story of the song is decent. It's about a guy who got in a car crash and is in a coma. The people around him think he's brain dead, like he's not aware of anything, but he actually is aware of everything. He just can't talk or do anything or move, and he's just like, end my suffering, pull the plug. But yeah, great subject matter in the song, very interesting subject matter, but unfortunately the song itself kind of is boring. Next up, probably my favorite song off the album, and the most underrated song from the album, Abductors. You already know what the song is about by just that title, Alien Abduction. It has this really, really great, dark, crushing riff. One of the best riffs off of a Judas Priest album. The dun 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 dun. And then some of the catchiest Ripper Owens vocals. Something on my screen. Anyway, but yeah, great song. There's a very, very, very slight downside to this song that is just a minor nitpick on my part. Is there's this one part where it slows down for a few like seconds, where it gets into these vocals like these sort of peaceful type vocals for like, I don't know, for short like 30 seconds almost, and it's just like, if that was not in the song, I think that would be probably on my top like 5 Judas Priest songs of all time, but it's probably just in the top 10 just because of that little section that I don't like. But other than that, the song's amazing. If they cut that little part out, if they ever reissue this album, which I hope they do at some point, if Rob Halford could not have his ego taking control and be like, oh wait, these Ripper Owens albums exist, and re-release this 98 Live Meltdown and Demolition Live in London, then yeah, a re-release would be awesome. Oh, by the way, no offense to Rob Halford, he's awesome, but I just wish he would acknowledge these albums. Anyway, yeah, Abductors, great song, my favorite off the album. Next up is Bullet Train, and this is a really great song. The first like dozen times I listened to this album, I didn't really give it a chance. But props to Razorfist from the Rageaholic YouTube channel. He loves this. He loves this song. It's his favorite off the album, and after hearing how he praised it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a second chance, and I was like, whoa, he's right, it's a great song. Not my favorite, personally, but it's still a great song. Thank you, Razorfist. Anyway, it probably has my favorite Ripper Owens shriek is at the beginning of the song. It's very catchy. I don't really... Oh, wait, yeah, of course, I do know what the song is about. It's about a bullet going through someone's brain, but like it's very exaggerated telling of it. Like it's very exaggerated, and it's very like dramatized, like bullet train rushing through my brain. Like it's very it's a simple concept, just a bullet going through somebody's brain, but it's like a concept that's taken in extremified, like drama induced. Like I know it's good. It's very it's kind of funny in a way how like it's a simple concept, but it's like made larger than life in a way. Anyway, great song. And the album closer to end all album closers, Cathedral Spires. Now, even for people who do not like this album, everyone loves Cathedral Spires, and yeah, they should. Because it's a great... Oh, I'm pointing the wrong one. There we go. It's a great song. It's an epic song. It's like... Cathedral Spires is like an epic track that is like, say, like... no. Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner is to Iron Maiden. Or, Metal Storm / Face the Slayer is the Slayer. Or, like, Spirit Crusher is to Death. Like, that's how epic this song is. It also has, at the very end, these awesome sort of, like, almost, chanting vocals. Like the, oh, we're so tired watching the world expire. Time to rise up, retire up in cathedral spires. Yep, that was very cringy of me, but, sorry. Anyway, yeah. The chanting at the end is very awesome, and it's overlaid with Ripper just like screeching at the end, the end section of that chorus. Yeah, really awesome song to end the album. And then yeah, so those are the songs on the album. Overall, great album. Wait, hold on, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway, great album. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite Judas Priest albums of all time. Oh, and if you're wondering, no, this is not the original artwork. Well, it is, but it's just the stupid zoomed in version, which I don't like that much. I mean, I think it's okay, but I wish they would have not zoomed in on it. Like, I don't know. It's just, I guess if these, can't speak today again, stumbling with my words. I swear I'm not drunk. Anyway, I wish that part of me wishes that they would have gone with a different artwork if they were going to zoom in on it, or just not zoom in on it whatsoever. Because if this album was released today, like in these days, the zoom in would be more crisp and clean looking. Because with this shitty 90s computer technology, when they zoomed in, they made it all pixelated because 90s computers were shit. Yeah, but I don't know if you could tell from camera on my computer, but if you look really carefully, it's very pixelated. Can't speak today. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, it's very pixelated, and I mean, if you look at it from afar, it looks fine, but it's just when you really look at it close up and you're holding it. But actually, hold on. Check this out for a second. I don't know if you could see it. Oh yeah, there it is. The disc stub is in the way of the face, but you could kind of see what the album artwork was supposed to be in its entirety. I would grab my phone and actually show you the more full-on version, but I don't have my phone with me in my room right now. But yeah, this is not even... I don't think this is the full version. It's kind of cut off at the bottom, but there is a version I think is the actual official artwork, like the official size of the artwork, where it's long ways instead of wide width ways, like the one behind the disc, where it's like um, the full image, and it actually has like the hellscape is like the lava that you can see on that version of the image, but like it's like there's like bones on the ground and stuff. Like, it's awesome. Overall, great album. Very underrated, very underappreciated. Um, I give this album a 9 out of 10. It would have been a 10 out of 10 if, like, there are a few things that don't make this a 10 out of 10. Just my personal gripes, though. Like, the fact that certain songs have really long and unnecessary intros, like uh, Death Row, where it's this really cheesy, like, hello, Death Row. Aw, sorry, I'll tell him. Like, it's just dumb. And then there's the other, what's the other song that has a stupid intro? Oh yeah, the dog growling in, Dead Meat is stupid. The only other issue I have, the only other thing that doesn't make this a 10 out of 10, only a 9 out of 10, is, the songs Decapitate and, Brain Dead are not good. But other than that, this album's great. I highly recommend to people who love the darker side of metal, the more brutal, heavier stuff that aren't necessarily looking for like stuff with death metal vocals, but stuff that is just darker and heavier without having to be death metal. And fans of Judas Priest who never even heard of this album, give it a chance. I'm sure you'll like it. And even if you don't, at least you tried, right? At least you tried to listen to it. But I will warn you guys that because this has been out of print since since I guess 98, I think 98 or 99. It's very hard to find. I mean, you can buy it on Amazon. In recent years, they have it on Amazon, but you're gonna have to pay like $100 for it. Which is odd because I went on Amazon like a few years ago. I think like two years ago maybe, and I paid $75 for this mint condition version. Originally it was 100, but then they dropped the price down like a month or so later. But then I guess since I got this album, they cranked the price up to 100 again. Don't know why, but yeah, still overall you're gonna have to pay a bit of money for this album. But even with that, it's worth it. But yeah, this was my review of the Judas Priest album Jugulator, and I'll see you in the next video.